Hello guys and welcome to NetherbaneTV. I bring you a new brew I've been doing. It's an Aggro Mage deck with no rares. Yep, that's right. No rares, no epics, and no legendary cards in this deck. This is great for people starting the game now that a new wave of beta keys have been delivered to new players. This pile was tested in Master 3 stars, so you will have a nice competitive deck for just a couple of Arcane Dust. So, want to build a deck, budget deck, and don't know how? Okay, just check this one out. Okay, let's get started. Let's go to budget deck, budget mage, and you see here the deck list. You see, uh, no, there's no rares. There's just a couple of common cards that are not mage basics cards, like the Dwarf, the Spellbreaker, the Worgen, and I think it's Acolyte of Pain 2, Cone of Gold, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Fairy Dragon, and Manaware. Okay, those are the non-basic cards that you will need to create or open in packs to actually get it. However, as you may see, if you open, let's say, like 15 packs, I don't think you will need to craft anything. So let's get it started. First card is Arcane Missiles. Arcane Missiles are great with Sorcerer's Apprentice and Mana Worm. If you start with Mana Worm in the first turn, and then you can cast Sorcerer's Apprentice in the second one, I'm talking now like the perfect hand, or perfect situation, let's say, and you just cast Arcane Missiles for free, because it got 0, thanks to the Apprentice, you will hit for 2 in the first turn. Next turn you can cast whatever you want. If the Apprentice survives, you can cast, I don't know, like Frostbolt and Arcane Intellect. Your worm goes to for free. It's going to get messy for the opponent to actually get back to the game. So next card is like, oops, sorry. Next card is Mana Worm. Mana Worm is a great card. It's synergistic with the main core of the game, of the deck. That is like a lot of cheap spells to dominate the table and then gain advantage with with let's say like getting through damage, and then you can actually finish your opponent with Frostbolt and Firebolt, just for instance. So it's a great turn one drop. I will say it's the best in the game. Some may say that it's the priest cleric, but I don't think it's actually a one drop. This, on the other hand, is in fact a very strong first drop, yeah, first drop or one drop that you can actually win the game with. Next up is Frostbolt. So we can see here. Frostbolt is a great removal card. It's the main removal card in the game that will allow you to dominate the table with your cheap drops and removing opposition. So let's say like you can cast this on a 2 drop from your opponent, and if you have a presence in the on the table, like I don't know, like Mana Worm or Sorcerer's Apprentice or whatever, you can actually get a lot of damage through and gain the advantage in the race. So next up is Acidic Swampus. So those is pretty good. Some people claim that it's the best 2 drop ever, whatever. I don't know. I don't really think that it's that powerful. I mean, it's a very powerful 2 drop. Don't get me wrong. It's like one of the best. But I think that Sorcerer's Apprentice, for instance, or Talnos, of course, but that's a legendary card already. So maybe if you're talking about common cards or basic cards, yeah, maybe it's the best. However, I won't run 2 on this kind of decks, because you actually will try to win before your opponent gets a major advantage with their weapons. So I will run only 1. If you want to fit one more inside the deck. Okay, I mean, it's fair. I can understand that. It's fair enough. But I will only run one of them. So next up, Fairy Dragon. Fairy Dragon is in fact one of my favorite cards in the game right now. You know, the meta game is like crowded by priests, shamans, or mage. That kind of heroes have a lot of problems dealing with this card. The thing is, like, the main removal from mage, for instance, in the first turns is like casting stuff, so casting spells. The thing is, they cannot cast a spell on this guy because he has some kind of protection for him. So if you can drop this card in, let's say, on turn 2 or turn 1, if you are not starting and you have the coin, you can actually gain a lot of advantage on the board and on the scoreboard. Like, you can get a lot of free damage from it while you keep removing opposition from it. So the thing is that you can actually swipe their board while they cannot deal with your dragon. So next is Sorcerer's Apprentice, one of my pet cards also. Some people actually claim that it's like pretty mediocre or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I know it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest. I know that Acidic Swampus is kind of better in a vacuum. But the thing is, like, when you are running a lot of spells and you are trying to be as aggressive as you can with a mage, this card is everything you need. That means that you can trade with another 2 or 3 drops. You can make your spells cheaper so you can gain tempo from it, or you can just smash with it. The thing is, if you can get a free 1 or 2 free hits from this guy, you will lead a lot of damage actually, because it's 3 damage each, but you don't consider the damage you get while gaining tempo and continue dropping your cards. It's not the same like in turn 3, like Frostball their guy and do nothing, than Frostball their guy and play a 2-drop. You see the difference? It's major tempo advantage you get there. So Arcane Intellect now. I will go with the golden one because it's like cooler. I don't know. So this card is, well, it's pretty nice. It's 3 mana, draw 2, natural card advantage. However, I don't kind of like natural card advantage in Hearthstone. Sorry, because it's not real. I mean, the card you get is not affecting the game immediately, and I think that this game it's more about dominating the table, dominating the board before starting to draw cards. So even if it's a 3-drop because it's 3 mana, I will never cast it in on turn 3. Only if I have like I don't know, like a handful of removal and have nothing in front of me. But I will never play this card on turn 3. I mean, it's a great card. It's a great top deck card, like turn 12 or something. As you just draw it, you have your opponent just like you, like in top deck mode and playing all your cards, and you draw this, and suddenly you have major advantage. So that's the card. That's why I'm playing it, and it's a great synergy. It's a great synergy with Sorcerer's Apprentice and Manaware. So next up is Cone of Gold. Cone of Gold is a great card. I know it's better with spell damage, and we have 0 spell damage minions on the deck. However, this card is great for gaining tempo. With this I mean, like, you just freeze 3 of their guys. Yeah, maybe you kill 1 or 2, whatever. You don't care. You attack, then he cannot attack you back, and you attack it again. And the next turn you can deal with the guys. Right? I don't know, like casting Flame Strike or Fire Blasting whatever one health minion you have in front. I don't know. You just get tempo. You just freeze the guys. You just attack, and then you get the door back. You attack again, or you deal with the guys you have in front. And that will depend on the situation of the game in the game. However, this is a great card, even with no spell damage. Acolyte of Pain is the only card advantage engine we have. I will get you the card here. It's great in mage decks. It's awesome. This card is fantastic. I cannot explain how good this card is. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Not in a vacuum. I mean, in a vacuum it's already it's terrible. But your the power you have with your hero power, that you can actually ping this guy for 2 mana and draw a card, and then the other guy needs to trade him with something. I don't know. You don't care actually. Even if if your opponent has a 4 or 5 or whatever, a Yeti or a 3/3 or whatever, you just don't care. You just draw 2 cards from him, and you will deal with the card they have in the future. I don't know. It's just a 2-for-1. You get a one damage on their minion or on them or whatever, and you're happy. You will deal with the cards. You have enough raw power in the deck that you just need to draw it to actually win. And this is the only main card advantage engine you will get in the deck. You don't need anything more. I mean, this is that powerful. We go to Raging Worgen. Raging Worgen is an okay card. I mean, it's much better in Mage than, let's say, Priest, for instance, because Enrage in Priest sucks, and in Mage, just as the Acolyte of Pain, you just ping this guy, you get a 4/2 Wind Fury guy, you just kill a guy and hit them, or hit them, more likely hit them and kill a guy, or kill a guy and kill a guy. So it's a really nice offensive free drop, or it's a really nice 2-for-1 drop because you can just drop it, Wind Fury him, and kill 2 guys. That may happen. It won't happen a lot actually, but what will happen a lot is like hitting them for 4 and then trading with a guy. They have that will happen a lot. Just trust me. I was testing this guy for weeks now, and it's incredible the card advantage and the tempo advantage you get from. However, I will not play 2. I will just play 1. So next up, Shattered Sun Cleric. Well, this is a card. It's pretty retarded if you ask me, because it's a 3/3 for free that boosts one of your guys with a +1/+1 counter. It's like pretty bonkers if you ask me. You play this on turn 3, let's say, on your Fairy Dragon, let's say, and your Fairy Dragon is suddenly a Paladin, for instance, cannot deal with him. They need to trade, because even if you just cast the Consecration, it doesn't die because it has 3 toughness now. Priest is just the same. They cannot wield it with this guy. It's like, okay, I will cast Holy Nova. Okay, Holy Nova. 3 endurance now, so who cares? This card is just as offensive as defensive, because also you can just cast the +1/+1 on the Mana Worm, and the Mana Worm suddenly doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, doesn't die to Frostbolt, doesn't die to Hammer's Wrath. It's an awesome card that is pretty synergistic with the deck, because sometimes you will see that your minions are outclassed by the other minions, because yours are cheap and the other ones are expensive. This is the catch-up card that will allow you to actually get back into the game, trade your crappy guys for more powerful guys, and continue the aggression. Well, Fireball, here we are. Fireball, good old Fireball. Best card in the deck, I guess. Best spell in the deck at least. 4 damage. Sorry, 4 mana, 6 damage. That's pretty clear. That will allow you to remove huge monsters that are actually stopping your attacks. This will allow you to actually kill your opponent. It's amazing reach. It's like 6 damage. It's a lot of damage. It's like I don't know. It's like one, yeah, 1/5, right? Yes, 1/5 of your opponent's health. So that means that if you have two, it's like 2/5. It's like almost the half their HP. It's actually pretty insane. This card is amazing. You cannot. I will play 5 if I could. Actually, I play 5 in arenas, but this is not the case. I cannot play 5. So you will play 2. Another amazing thing is like it's a basic. It's a major basic card, so you don't even need to open it or even, I don't know, craft it or whatever. It's just awesome. One of the best spells in the game. So next up, Polymorph. Polymorph is, I don't like Polymorph. I will be honest with you guys. I don't like Polymorph. It's expensive. It's not a main. It's not a removal spell. I mean, yeah, it's a removal spell. You just kill up 8/8 and it's a 1/1 now. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a pseudo removal spell. But even if I don't like it because it got 4 and it's not offensive and you can only cast minions, you can only play it on minions, it's a very necessary card because sometimes you have a shield master in front of you and you will not be able to do with it because you don't want to cast a fireball on him because you want to kill your opponent with fireball, not the minions. So that's when Polymorph comes in. You pay 6 and you kill a minion, any minion. That's one of the main strengths of, of this card, and the only one. But you will need to play 2. Trust me, it's necessary. So the dwarf now. The dwarf is one of my favorite cards too, in arenas at least. And in this deck it's not bad at all because again you can, even if the fairy dragon has this protection from spells and from hero powers, you can actually cast battle cries on it. So you just cast this, you just, for instance, you just enhance your fairy dragon. Right now it's a 5/2 that hits pretty hard. It's also very good with other cards like Mana Worm, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Shatters and Cleric even, or any creature you have. It will allow you to trade with a bigger guy, more expensive guy, and that means you get tempo from it because you already dealt a lot of damage with him. So you just cast this one, you just trade, and it's okay. You have a 4/4 body behind. It's a very good card. I will recommend you to play too. Spellbreaker is another one of my pet cards. Some people play the owl, the Iron Peak owl, whatever, the 2/1 for 2 that silence. This card I think is better in mid-range decks. The owl is better in aggro decks, especially in hunter decks because it's a beast. However, this deck doesn't need a 2-drop. It needs a hardcore 4 mana for free deal with this card. Also, one of the things I really like from this card is like it doesn't die to priest removal because Holy Nova doesn't deal with him, and they have no Shadow Ward that can actually kill it. So the main reason this deck is here is to battle versus priest. Silence against priest is awesome because it silence Lightwell, it silence Lightspawn, it silence the Cleric, it silence a lot of cards that will actually render those cards useless. For instance, Lightwell silence is crap. That's actually nothing. The same for with the light spawn. Light spawn is a very problematic card for mage, but this card is just solves the deal. It's like comes in, I have a 4/3 body, your light spawn is a 0/5 do nothing, and your shadow ward spells you have in hand, who cares? You cannot kill him. It's a great card against priests, and it's a concession I give to those kind of decks that actually are very problematic for mage. And last but not least, it's Flame Strike. So Flame Strike. Yeah, that card is absurd. Flame Strike is absurd, like as I said. It's like 7 mana, 4 damage to all enemy minions, not your minions. It's enemy minions. Actually, it wipes the the board. It cleans it completely. It's difficult that some mm, creature survives this spell, and some creatures that does like Yeti or Shieldmaster or whatever, they just die to Prime Strike, Hero Power, one damage to him. Is dead. So you just keep going. Why it's especially good in this deck, Flame Strike? Well, because yes, you apply so much pressure that your opponent cannot play, let's say, around it. So they cannot say like, okay, I played 1 2 guys. When he deals with him, I play 1 or 2 more. Blah blah blah. Okay, no, they will need to deploy their army on the board, and that's when you just get him. You just cast this, you get him. You can trade some surviving minions that are like 1 or 2 health. You trade with your small guys, or you shoot him with your hero power or whatever, and you control completely the board. So that's it. That's the deck. I've been testing this deck on, as I said, in Master 3 stars. It's pretty competitive even when you are dealing with a lot of legendaries on that level. But it's okay. I mean, you will have some powerful board states on your side. You will get tempo with Gun of Gold and cheap removal. You will keep drawing cards with the Acolyte of Pain. You just beat them down with your Worgens, Clerics, Dwarfs, Spellbreakers, whatever, and you will just win a lot of games, a lot of free games out of Mana Worm, Arcane Missiles, remove your stuff, kill this, kill that. Okay, I kill you, Mana Worm. Okay, I play my Fairy Dragon. Now you need to deal with this one. You will get a lot of free kills, just trust me on that one. Try the deck, especially if you are new. If you are new in the game, I, I I have been there, and you have when you start, you don't want to spend money on it on the shop, or maybe you do, but you get like crappy rares or crappy epics. Well, this is a deck for you then, because it's just commons, very competitive, very fun to play. You will have a lot of fun. You have a blast playing this game, this deck, because it's so fun to play. It's like very easy, very quick. Your games will not last until turn 25 or whatever. You will win a lot of games in the first 8 turns, especially if you just start with the obsidious mana worm, frostball, spell. My worm is out 7/3 whatever, and you just keep hitting them, and you just play cast flame strike to the dome, and you get them. So if you have any question about the deck or about the decisions to make, you just post it on the comments below. And if you like the video, just please uh, just click on like, and we'll see you then.